Okie dokie. Okie dokie. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, anyone who is ever watching this, thank you for joining me again. We are picking back up where we left off last time with starting the MSQ for ARR. All due respect, about halfway through patch 2.2, I believe. So anyway, without much further ado, yeah, let's carry on. And of course, we're the ones having to do the escorting. Keyboard. Oh, come on. Yeah, I do have a feeling that some load times might be a little bit slower tonight. Unfortunately, where I am, we are in the middle of a huge storm. So, unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that. Yeah, I will speak with you, Geary, as soon as you load, you Geary. Was that announcement about Endwalker? Nope, that's just someone chatting. Yeah, it looks like the Leap Motion is having some fun tonight. Nod, nod, nod. Oh good, someone else is going to do some work for a change.
How goes the fishing? Caught anything slippery?
Aye. Our suspicions were well founded. The Serpent Reavers are indeed the culprits.
The plot thickens.
Has there been any movement in Thanalan?
It has been blessedly quiet, which is to say the Amalja are being no more or less of a nuisance than usual, summoning a Efreet with such crystals as they have hoarded. Eorzea too reports not out of the ordinary.
Then we have our explanation.
Your explanation for what, pray tell?
For the recent spate of crystal thefts in Thanalan, we naturally assumed that the trail would lead us back to the Amalja. Yet it did not. It led us across the sea unto Vilbrand.
Vilbrand? There have been reports of increased Sahagin activity of late. Oh gods, they mean to summon Leviathan?
Leviathan.
That is the way of it, I fear. Whilst conducting our investigation on behalf of the mineral concern, we came upon evidence implicating the Serpent Reavers. With the aid of the Maelstrom, I was able to verify our suspicions. 'Tis only a matter of time before Leviathan returns to harrow the seas. But there is more. One of the Sahagin, an elder by my judgment, spoke of attaining the gift and knowledge of eternity.
Ugh.
Such a disturbance in the ether. If I did not know better, I should think this device defective. And there is the explanation.
Yeah, that's face.
Soon it shall begin. Our Lord shall rise mid-surging waves to wash away the finless ones. And I shall be granted the gift and knowledge of eternity, and with the emissary stand equal. Then shall I know no cessation, no oblivion.
Whence comes this promise of immortality? The emissary? We have outstayed our welcome.
The gift and knowledge.
Are the two of you quite well?
You shared that vision, did you not?
Yeah, no shit.
Even before the Sahagin made mention of the emissary, I recognized Elidibus's words. He is behind this. But surely it is not within his power to grant the echo.
My lady, unless we act swiftly, Leviathan will rise again. The Admiral has already requested that we intervene to prevent this. Failing that, we are to attend to the Primal's extermination.
She will have our full cooperation. Let us make haste to Limsa Lominsa. I mean to play a part in this mission. Tataru, pray, take charge in my absence.
My lady, are you sure this is wise?
I am aware of the risks, but there is something I must see with mine own eyes. The true nature of the echo.
Very well. I shall not stand in your way. On the condition that you permit me to accompany you as bodyguard.
Your company is ever welcome, Thancred.
I take it something ill is afoot.
Yeah, great observation skills there.
Aye, a Primal is about to be loosed upon Eorzea.
Primal?
A godlike being whose very existence is a bane upon the land. We scions of the Seventh Dawn are sworn to put an end to their kind.
I see. Know then that I am learned in the arts of war. In return for the kindness you have shown my people, I would lend you my blade.
It would be most welcome. When contending with a Primal, one can never have too many able allies.
Yeah, like you lot are gonna do bugger all.
The problems facing Eorzea. This experience is like to provide it. Be sure to come well prepared.
And off to Limsa. Quick, before they all spawn in. Yeah, hurry up and load in the people that I need to talk to. God, yeah. The net's really suffering tonight with this storm. There we go. More web. I like Mole Web. She's kind of cool. Yeah, that's the nearest one. Airport. Let's go. Stop running. Thank you. Right, where are we going? We're heading that way. Heals. Really? I'm 5 levels above you. You should be leaving me alone. Go away. Back off, I'm not interested. World mobs do nothing for me right now. Oh, piss off. And the paralysing, of course. Right, let's just dodge all the mobs then, because they're annoying. I bet you I've got to go through the cave. Oh no. That's handy. Even though this is kind of a bit of an area you're never supposed to go, but if you add flying to an MMO, that's going to happen. At least they've kind of put some decoration up here. Unlike there's some places in WoW where you're like, yeah, this is a barren, untextured wasteland. But then again, there's a lot of places in WoW that are barren, barely textured wastelands. Not ripping on WoW, that's just part of, you know, the fact that it's such an old game. The graphics are like that. Uh-oh. Whew. Okay. Don't know what happened there, but things are better. Thought the game completely crushed on me there, but whew, it didn't. I think I may have missed a spawn somewhere. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm just doing my best to avoid as many mobs as I can because they're not worth me fighting at this level. They're just annoying. That's one I can't sneak past. Possibly could, but, you know. And we'll avoid the axolotl. That looks annoying.
Damn them. They have made thralls of soldiers and civilians both.
I miss much?
Good aim.
So that is how you fight in the Far East. Mental note, pick no quarrel with Domans. But
Yeah.
seriously, if I am to keep up, I must needs forsake elegance for efficiency.
This is why I love Final Fantasy through and through. It's all ridiculous. Ooh, I keep catching my volume switch. That's purely because I'm wearing a really thick jumper today because it's very cold.
To the Aetheryte.
You'll forgive me my lateness.
I've been something of a liability of late, I know. 'Tis high time I set about making amends.
Long have you shriveled Swordwalker, tormented our kind. But no more! Your time is at an end! You shall perish with salt in your wounds and sea in your lungs. Lord of the world, hearken to our plea. Lord of the world, deliver us from our misery.
Do you feel that?
I know this sensation. It's the echo.
What?
Such power! It is transcendent!
Seven hells.
Strike me down if you will. It is futile. I have mastered the gift. I am eternal. Oh, mighty Leviathan.
Damn you!
Foolish shorewalker! Who cannot kill that which is eternal?
Okay, here comes the big boy.
Heavens forfend.
Damn it all!
Oh crap, it's snowing heavily outside here now.
Am the way. It should by right be infinite. Am I not immortal? Curse you, emissary! You promised me everlasting.
Where did he go?
Oh, at me.
What say you? Nary a single ship? Hells take that sea demon! Gather the survivors and get to shore. Leave the wrecks for the pirates. Leviathan wastes no time. The diversionary squadron is lost. For a mercy, 'twould seem the Primal now makes for open sea. But why does he not press his advantage? Unless... God save us. He means to unleash a tidal wave.
Okie dokie, so Leviathan is about. Yeah. And this is where it should fade to black and just take me to the command room, but no. Okay, so I have another feeling that we've got another dungeon or raid coming up. Of course we have, it's a bloody primal, isn't it? Or elemental, or whatever this group is known as, but I believe they're still primals. Aw, little baby 18. Well, wish them luck. This is Eorzea, we are kind to new players.
There used to be a hamlet beyond South Tidegate in western Lanosha. Halfstone it was called. Some years prior to the Maelstrom's founding, Leviathan rose from the briny depths and set about unleashing watery hell upon us. On that occasion, the company of heroes put him down before he could do too much damage. But when the bastard came next, this time in the wake of the calamity, we were not so fortunate. Weary of ravaging our shoreline, he summoned a tidal wave which fair leveled Hearthstone and washed the soil away for good measure.
The area was subsequently occupied by the Sahagin.
Aye, the thrice-damned creatures transformed it into a spawning ground for their brood. Given the quantity of crystals stolen to feed him and his legion of thralls, we can be fairly sure that Leviathan is stronger now than in his previous incarnations. If that sea demon is left to wreak havoc, what befell Hearthstone may well befall a larger settlement, even Limsa. That cannot happen. The primal must be stopped.
That was ever our objective, Admiral. But how are we to achieve it? The sea is Leviathan's uncontested domain. The ships of the 3rd Squadron could not close to within 100 yards of the primal, nor could their cannons pierce his defenses.
I got pointy stick. Pointy stick will do it.
The reports, Master Thancred. Our warships may as well have been bloody pleasure barges for all the good they did. 7 hells! Is there no way that we might strike back?
The company of heroes defeated Leviathan, having first lured him into an inlet, but we must needs contend with him upon the open sea. It will avail us little to consult past experience.
Admiral, if I may.
Speak freely, Marshal.
By all accounts, Leviathan's most formidable weapon is the very sea itself. Waves and whirlpools, tides and currents, all these things are his to command. The key to victory, I believe, lies in disarming our foe. This, in effect, is what the company of heroes achieve with their ruse. We cannot lure Leviathan from the sea a second time. But what if we could weaken his hold upon the element of water? I have heard of devices capable of such wonders. They draw upon the power of corrupted crystals, I am told. If mounted upon a ship, such a device might be used to prevent Leviathan from bringing the full force of the sea to bear against us, rendering him no more dangerous than any other sea serpent.
Of course! Sid built a similar device to grant the Enterprise safe passage through Garuda's Tempest, did he not?
Begging your pardon, my lady, but to give credit where it's due, this is something I heard from an old arcanist friend of mine.
It makes little difference who thought of it first, so long as it works. Beg the specifications of this device from your friend, and I shall pass them on to our people at Naldic and Vermelis. But before we proceed any further, I would voice one concern. Piercing Garuda's defenses is one thing. Suppressing Leviathan's attacks, quite another. In matters of science, I am as a babbling babe. But I cannot well imagine that such a feat would be possible without a veritable mountain of corrupted crystals. Question being, do we have a ship big enough to bear such a burden?
Mayhap not, Admiral, but two might. Recall you the tale of Mistbeard's greatest haul? It is said that he lashed 2 ships together, side by side, the better to bear his plunder.
I love the limbs a lot. They are just badass pirates.
Would be quicker than building a new vessel.
Mistbeard did this. Truly, Marshal, upon the subject of the Pirate King, you are as a scholar.
Now, from what I have gleaned of these matters, the device will need to be in close and constant proximity to the target. To wit, we must lash our twin vessel to Leviathan. This in itself will be no small feat. Ramming speed will be required, but given the weight of the cargo, that will only be attainable with the aid of a towing vessel. Suffice it to say, the task of piloting said vessel will entail considerable danger, and I would not ask it of another. I volunteer myself.
It will be dangerous for all involved, but we have no better recourse. Very well.
I love this lot. They're just so, unlike some of the other leaders, they're just badass pirates.
Assemble the remnants of the fleet at Morabee Bay. Give priority to our soundest vessels. The repairs can wait. Storm Marshal Slafierson, command of the operation is yours. I want that twin vessel ready to sail post-haste.
At once, Admiral.
And then there is the small matter of slaying the beast. The fate of Limsa Lominsa rests upon your shoulders once again. Go well, warrior of light.
Has to be blooming fine. Off to Costa del Sol. God, why is he not wearing trousers? Yeah, it's bloody me. I should use you as bait to lure in bloody Leviathan. Oh, we're going quite a way. Okay. I'm guessing this is what's going to lead us into the dungeon to fight the Primal. I just love that on the Fat Chocobo you swapped a cake on a fishing rod to get him to fly instead of Gishel Greens. At least they've not made me go and get all the crystals myself. Maybe that's one of the quests they took out when they updated ARR for later DLCs, just to, you know, get rid of some of the fetchy questy rubbish. Cool. You'd find out the Whirl Eater are hard. Okay. Before we queue for that, I will do what I always do. If you're new to the streams or the videos, this might be a little bit weird, but before I enter any dungeon or raid instance that I've not done before, I do go ahead and watch a guide. A short guide, at least, then I have some understanding of what I'm doing, even though, you know. And of course, ooh, the net is getting quite bad at the moment. It's struggling to load. Come on. You can do it. Oh, come on. You've got enough to be streaming to Twitch without dropping frames and doing this, so you should be fine. There we go. And as we found out last time, yes, you will be able to hear the guide. I won't show the video because, again, I don't want to let's try. Yeah, this one's got more views. And I'll mute the advert because screw adverts.
Welcome to this video guide for completing the Whirl Eater Hard in Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. My name is TSDS, and in this video you'll learn everything you need to know to survive Leviathan. Many people say no guide is needed for this boss as it's so easy, which is why it's so hard to find one, but then look at all those Cape Westwind guides, and the Whirl Eater actually has a couple of important mechanics. At the start of the fight, Lever Beater sits at one end of the boat and does nothing until around 90%. Main tanks get your aggro, and everyone else can just wail on him. At 90%, Leviathan sinks back into the sea, and the fight begins. Anytime Levy isn't on screen, it's a good idea to head to the middle of the boat. Where Levy will appear next is telegraphed by a huge plume of water. What he does next depends whether or not these plumes appear on the sides of the boat or at the end of the boat, but we'll get to that later. Here, he'll appear on the side and body slam the part of the boat in front of the plume. By standing in the middle of the boat, you can easily avoid these, although you will get launched towards the impact zone. Once he's here, main tanks pick him back up, and off tanks pick up his tail that appears on the opposite side. Welcome to the crux of the fight, and the biggest mechanic here, so listen up. As a DPS, if you deal physical based damage, you must attack his tail. His tail also counts as being behind the target for positional attacks. If you deal magical based damage, you must attack his head. The reason for this is that his tail reflects all magic damage and his head reflects all physical damage.
Okay.
Tanks are not affected by this. While this encounter is not hard, this is by far the most likely way a DPS will die in this fight if they don't know what they're doing. Now that mechanic is out of the way, let's talk about the others. At times in the fight, Sahagin wave spine adds will spawn that the off tank should pick up and the DPS should kill. Maybe these adds do something, maybe they don't. Do you want to find out? These adds spawn in pairs, but later in the fight, if only a single add spawns, note that it'll be a wave tooth and not a normal wave spine. Wave teeth must be killed ASAP because they can cast fears and leave feared balls on the ground. Getting hit by this or walking into a pool will cause you to lose control of your character for 10 seconds, so watch out. Sometimes, when Levy sinks back down, instead of repositioning himself on the side, he'll do something slightly different. Instead of appearing on the side, the plume of water will appear at one end of the boat and Levy will dash across, dealing damage to anyone standing in the half of the boat adjacent to his plume. If that sounds confusing, Levy will hit one half of the boat, telegraphed by what half the water plume appears by. Dodging this requires a bit of hectic camera spinning in order to spot the end that the plume appears at, but it's not a big deal if you get hit by this. Leviathan will also spawn 4 Gaia Spume adds, one at each corner of the boat. These adds must be prioritised instantly because they will deplete the elemental conversions bar listed in the duty information. This bar is the key to surviving Levy's attempted raid wipe move later on. The elemental conversions will recharge over time, and at about 40% health, Levy will vanish again, and you'll get the message that the elemental converter is now operable. It's time to push the button. Run over to the elemental converter located on one end of the boat and interact with it to shield the vessel. You need around 30 out of 100 in the conversion bar to be okay here, but this is largely irrelevant due to the gear differences of players, making this fight so much easier. Leviathan will pop up and go ham on the boat, but the shield will take most of the hit. And that's basically it. Healers will be targeted periodically by a Whirlpool AoE splash attack, but the damage is nothing, and there aren't really any other mechanics worth mentioning. And now, some final tips. For DPS, make sure you're attacking the correct part of Leviathan based on the type of damage you deal, and to swap to the adds as soon as you see them. For healers, this fight is very easy. Just throw down a few AoE heals now and then, and you'll be okay. For tanks, if you're off tanking, just pick up the adds quickly, and that's about it. It's very easy to go and fight lever beaters with no knowledge, and still down it in one attempt in a dungeon finder group, but hopefully this guide will help out those who always want to know what they're getting into. If you enjoy...
Awesome. And yeah, if anybody's watching, thank you to what was it name? Tom Scott Does Stuff for his guide. That was very informative. Thank you very much. Okay. Right, now let's queue. Not that one. Not that one. That one. Whirlita. Go. Okay, sorry about that. Finding out what my phone has been pinging at me, and most of it's irrelevant crap from Facebook again, but there we go. Whee! Yeah, unfortunately, welcome to the DPS queue. Yeah, okay, unhelpful stuff. While we're waiting, Looks like Leviathan's a popular one tonight. Popular duty. It's only going to be worse next week when Endwalker goes into early access. Come on. Least favourite thing about DPS. Queue times. Yeah, someone just hurt themselves falling. It is another Dragoon, looking roughly level 50, presumably. Ooh, 51, yeah. Come on, I want to get 2.2 done tonight. Oh, come on! We almost had a full party. Finally, let's go. Huzzah! Okay, here we go. I'm not using any of my buffs and that at this stage because it just seems pointless. Now we proc stuff. Yeah, that was relatively simple. Okay, we won't commend the healer then. Instead, the healer just pissed off. Back to Limsa. Let's wait for the attendant to show up. There he is.
Mincens are sworn to strive, till sea swallows all. And swallow all it would have, had Leviathan prevailed. That we still strive now, we owe in no small part to you. Not for the first time, you have delivered Limsa Lominsa from the wrath of a primal. Never has our nation known a stouter ally. On behalf of my people, I give you my humblest thanks.
Yeah, too right.
It is meet that I give thanks to old Mistbeard, too, for his fine solution. Whatever else he may have been, 'tis clear he was a resourceful soul. Would that I had a man like him in my service.
I mean, the dude behind you.
Before I set foot in these lands, I had no inkling that the people of Eorzea contended with such mighty foes. Suffice it to say, their existence came as something of a shock, as did the idea that they could be defeated. This experience has served to remind me of the vastness of the world, and the boundless potential of man. Though I am but a refugee in this realm, I would fain be of use to you in your fight. Know that I am tutored in one of the foremost combat arts of the Far East. It may seem outlandish to the Eorzean eye, but should any of your people care to learn, I would be pleased to initiate them.
I'm guessing that's ninja.
And I will see to it that they are grateful. I have no doubt that your knowledge and skills will serve us well. Besides, your art is not so outlandish as you think. Would you not agree, Master Thancred?
Naught escapes your searching eye, Admiral. Few are privy to this information, but Limsa Lominsa is home to a certain secret fraternity. Its members are trained in a form of combat not unlike your own. By my judgment, it should not be beyond such individuals to adapt to the techniques I witnessed you employing with such admirable deftness.
I am heartened to hear this. I too noted a kinship between your style and mine own. though it seemed to me that you fought differently in the beginning.
I suppose I did. What can I say? I'm a man of many talents.
Though you may labour to believe it, Thancred was once something of a scoundrel who fraternized with the criminal class in these parts.
Yestola! You jest, of course.
But for a chance encounter with Alphino's grandsire, he might never have left Limsa Lominsa, or received an education in Sharlayan, or taken up his post in Uldar, which is where he trained in the blade, lest you wonder.
Minfilia, please!
Yeah, they've got him on read.
It would seem there is more to you than meets the eye, Master Thancred.
Lady Yugiri, I am told that you and yours came to Eorzea seeking permanent resettlement, and that many domins have since been engaged as frontier hands at Revenant's Toll. Morderna is many things, but a place of refuge it is not. Know that I would like nothing better than to furnish your people with a new home here on Lominsan soil. Alas, racked by instability as we are, our nation is in no fit state to take you in. Yet I'll not have it said that we turned a blind eye to your suffering. Until such time as we can do more, I pledge to send provisions.
We are in your debt, Admiral. I realize that it scarce qualifies as repayment, but if it please you, I shall set about sharing my martial knowledge with your people at once.
Yeah, you can do your spinny, flippy stuff. I got big pointy stick.
You wished a word in private.
The better not to spoil the festive mood. History repeats itself, Admiral. As the kobolds did before them, the Sahagin resorted to summoning their god over a territorial feud. They acted in self-preservation. It may be that the Sahagin initiated this particular clash, but how it begins does not interest me so much as how it ends.
I have not forgotten our conversation, Y'ashtola. I am aware that man bears part of the blame for the Primal's existence. Nor am I ignorant of the Sahagins' reason for acting. They sought to secure a place to breed and multiply that their kind might survive. Self-preservation, as you say. But we have as much right to live and thrive as they. If our own survival is threatened, are we to lay down our arms and welcome oblivion? Nay.
And so you kill, that you might live. Yet if living is a right, then that right belongs to all peoples, be they men or beastmen.
I'll not deny your reasoning, but when a storm gathers, it falls to me to see my people safely through it. That is my duty, and I shall do it.
As must we all, Admiral. Stay the course, then, but know that it will lead to no good end.
Man has ever put himself first and foremost. To justify his actions, he clads himself in the armor of righteousness, though it be a fancy of his own making. In this, mayhap the Garleans and we Domans are not so different.
Eorzea has become as a raging sea. If we are to keep our heads above the waves, we cannot scruple to drown the man next to us. When hopes of coexistence founder, strength must determine who has the greater right to live.
And that's it. It is a difficult position because the Beastmen are never going to stop trying to kill the Limsons. Or the Eorzeans. That one. Yeah, I'm not sure about Ninja. That's something I might do in the future. But for now on, we are ploughing through the MSQ as a Dragoon. Okay. Let's take a look what we get from this one. Ooh, Holy Lance. That looks pretty cool. Doesn't matter, the earring I've got is better. Revenant's Toad. Here we go. Boom. Mordona. I do love the music in this game, it's awesome. Click on it, thank you.
I have been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand. If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please, bear with me. When the Sahagin Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo. Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing. When the Admiral subsequently slew him, his spirit emerged from his lifeless flesh, a consciousness shorn of physical form. Thus transfigured, he took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove. Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul, but never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh, nor less that our souls could then occupy the next corporeal vessel to take our fancy. It was of this that Elidibus spoke, an existence which knows neither cessation nor oblivion. And yet, though the Sahagin had mastered his gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable. As we both bore witness, he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan. And the import of this observation? If the Ascians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed. There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale, yet recent events have given me cause to wonder, could the legend in fact refer to the Echo? Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time. For the present, however, what matters is that the key to defeating the Ascians may at last be within sight. With Eorzea's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long. Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Grave tidings from the Sharlayan motherland, my lady. It doth concern our distant allies, the students of Valdesian.
What of them?
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
No more? Whatever do you mean?
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be. 'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked, like in power to Ultima.
12 preserve.
If there are no other matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
I move that we kick your teeth in, but you know.
It is done, my lord. Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Revolution.
Of course. Bloody Lalafell. Can't trust a single one of them. Pardon me. I do apologise. Yeah, it always helps diplomatic situations when you've got someone with a very big stick stood behind you. In fact, as that is 2.2 done, I know it's a slightly shorter stream than I would normally do. I think we're going to call that a night due to various reasons and issues going on. Anyway, thank you for joining me. We will pick this up next time with 2.3, and until then, bye.